Good morning, guys, and welcome back to our video tutorial. Actually, today we're going to do a practical. Last week we did about dynamic routing protocols, and I told you guys that we're going to start today. We're going to start with one dynamic routing protocol, that is RIP routing. And I will tell you that RIP routing is something that is really going it's fading out, but then since it's part of our syllabus, we'll have to just treat it. So I'm going to show you guys starting with the first dynamic routing protocol. We're gonna have to you're gonna have to make a lot of research about RIP routing. But I'm sure that I'm gonna make a lot of discussion about distance vector routing protocol. So from there, you may also learn few things plus the research that you're going to make. So that is going to be my practical topology. So you guys would see this, and basically this is what I have. So I'm just gonna take my drawing pen and then show you guys what I'm gonna be doing right from there. So this is router 1, and this router 1, it has 4 directly connected networks, right? 1, and this network which is shared with router 2 is a directly connected network. That other network as well here, and this other LAN here, these are all part of router 1. So with dynamic routing, the routers networks are configured on them, not the remote networks. With static routing, we were supposed to do this. If it was static routing, router 1 has these 4 networks, so therefore we need to route traffic to this network, this one, because they are not directly onto this one. They're all not directly connected to router 1. So if it was static routing, we were supposed to advertise this 5 networks to router 1, because it does not know about those 5 networks. That is the 4 LANs here and this one between router 2 and router 3. So for dynamic routing protocols, you advertise the networks that are directly connected to the router itself that you are configuring, so that that router would advertise itself. It will tell the other routers that, hey, I have this particular network on me and I need you to have them, and to reach them, this is what you do, and this is the route that you will take. So that is what dynamic routing protocols would do. So on router 2 also, this is what you're going to do. You would advertise this network, you advertise this network, and advertise this network and this fourth network, because all of them have four networks directly connected, some which they've shared. So router 1 and router 2 shared this network, router 2 and 3 shared the 209.165.200.8. I configured 200.9 here, 210 here. So I'm using SATA 30, so I'm using only 2 valid IP addresses, the block size of 4. So router 3 as well also have these 4 networks that are directly connected. So we're going to use RIP routing, using RIP version 2 routing protocol to configure this network, and then also to have all routers configured and have access to each other. So part of the features of RIP routing is that they do full update. They update to their routers or the routers about everything that they have, whether the other routers have them or not. That is advantage. Also, they summarize networks, so they have classful network boundary, which is also a problem. So in that case, before you configure RIP routing, you have to disable the automatic summarization, because it is enabled by default on RIP routing protocols. So you have to disable that. And also there is one protocol, one configuration, maybe 2. We talked about them, and I'm going to have to configure them. It's passive interface and propagation of default static route. In that case, we're going to have an ISP router connected here, for instance. That is a new router that we're going to add, and we call it as our ISP. And then, with that ISP, sorry about that, we're going to have a LAN here, but that LAN is going to be a loopback, okay? It's just going to be a loopback IP address, So when we have that loopback IP address down here, so we're going to have to configure this router to a separate network to router 2. So in that case, we're going to have to configure router 1, router 2, and the ISP's network here as a default static route. So when we do that, we have an external network here. So the LAN of this external ISP network can be reached by all other routers here. And then what you do is the network that you added on router 2 must not be advertised on your RIP routing domain. So this network must be a default static route. So that static route must be propagated or be redistributed into the RIP routing protocol. So this is exactly what we're gonna be doing, and then we pay a lot of attention to that. Okay, guys. So that is good, that is important. So we go back to our practical. We like I said, I always use the packet tracer to do this. So we're gonna start from there. So I'm gonna configure router 1 first to advertise these networks down here, those 4 networks that I just said. So I'm going to advertise 209.165.200.0 side of 30, 200.4 side of 30. I'm also going to do this other one 1.0 side of 27 and 32 1.32 side of 27. So those 4 networks must be advertised on router 1. So to do this, this is the command that we're going to have to use, and I am all set. So here I'm going to do router RIP. When I type that, I'm gonna do version 2 because I have to tell the router which version. So I have to disable no auto summarization. So this other one, I started typing, I pressed the tab key, so it completely spelled. So don't think that it's a no AU and then no auto summary. So I just press the tab key, so it completely spelled for me in a new line. So you know that about that, those tab keys or those shortcut keys. So now we're gonna have to advertise the network. So you have network 192.168.1.0. Here you don't have to specify the subnet max or anything, so that's why I put the no automatic summarization. So my router does not automatically summarize these networks into their classful network boundaries. The next network is 32, so I press the tab key and the up arrow key, so this thing comes back up. So the other network is, I can just type net if you want, net 209.165.200, so not 2000, 200.0 and 200.4. Those are the so these are the 4 networks that we need to advertise right here. So they are configured on router 1. So unfortunately I did not change the name of my router, so I'm gonna just start doing that now. Host name R1. So I have to go back to privilege mode, sorry, global mode. Host name